Hello, welcome. We are looking at the concluding part of array and array method. Remember, I told you array are like drawer containing different things where you can just open the drawer and pick things. And we've talked about how to create array, how to access the array elements, and we also looked at some of the array methods such as concat, copy within, fill, filter, join, includes a map, and so on. Now we are looking at the concluding aspect of this array methods. Now let's look at pop. Let's look at pop. Let's input some of these variables that we need. We are going to use chains. So let's give the first one if either. Let's give the other one race. Let's give the third one species. Okay. So I'm just gonna give that this thing. Let's give the thunder to a string. The other one Bitcoin. Yes. Now, when you have something like this, you can now apply your pop method. Yes, by saying chains dot pop. Are you getting? And we are going to console.log that console.log our chains to see what it comes out with. Now, you see, basically what this does is it deletes, it removes the last element from an array. Let's look at the results here. Let's look at our inspect element. You can see the Bitcoin is not there again. It has deleted it. That's just the basic thing. Now instead of we having 4 elements in the array, we're now having 3. We're now having 3, and that's the function of your pop. Now we have another one which is push, So I'm just going to change the pop to what? Push. The pop to push. And what this push does is it adds a new element at the end of the array. So now let me input another it's going to take a string here by saying, let's just say Binance here. Let's just say Binance. And when you check this in the browser, you realize that we are now having 5 elements in the array now. That is Hive, AOS, BitShares, Bitcoin, and what? And Binance. That's the function of this pop. That's pop push rather. That's push. It adds element to what? To the end of an array. Now we have another one which is shift. And this shift, it works just like pop but in reverse. That is, it deletes the first element. Remember, your pop deletes the last element while your shift deletes the what? First element in the array. Now let's use something like this. Okay, so that will be change dot shift. I'm going to remove this element inside this Binance. Now if everything works out fine, we should get, sorry for this, we should get our 3 elements. Can you see? So we have EOS, BCS, and what? And Bitcoin. We have EOS, BCS, and Bitcoin. That's it. It has deleted the Hive chain. It has simply deleted the Hive chain, and that's shift for you. That's what shift for you. Now we also have slicing and array. How do we slice an array? And you see, slicing means taking out a part or piece of the array into a new array. It doesn't touch the original array. Instead, it removes, slices part of a piece of the original array and then put it into a new array. So how are we going to do this? And it takes into argument to select elements from the start argument and to the end argument, but not including the end element. What am I saying in essence? Now let's take a look at this. We have something like this. We are still using our chain. We can add more elements to it. Let's add our okay link. Let's just add link to it. And now we are going to, let me clear this. Okay, so we are going to console.log chains dot slice 2. Yes, let's look at this. Let's look at what this will give us. Now you see, this is basically, it's telling us that okay, we are going to slice what? We are going to slice this array. but what, we are starting at the second index. We are starting at the second index. That means the slicing of the array will start at the second index. Now let's look at the result. The result now is going to be what? BCS, Bitcoin, and Link. Now what has it done? You can see over here that it has sliced away our hive and US. Instead, now it has started from the second array. When you look at it, we have our hive, our hive as a first index, zero index, first index, second, and it's starting from here, the second, over here to the what? To the last. So that's that. Now, remember, you can also pass in two arguments there. You can also pass in two arguments there by saying, let's say, 1, 2, 3. That means start slicing from the first index and stop at the what? Third index, not including the third one. Let's look at it. Look at it. We are now having OS and BCS. Remember our code, start from the first index. This is it, the first one. And then you stop where? At the third. Are you getting? You stop at the third. So that's for our slicing. Now we also have reducer method. Now this reducer method, it just reduces the array, every element in the array, it reduces it to a single value based on a certain predefined function. Now it simply means that, okay, let's put in our number values here. Let's just say, let's start by saying, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to change this to, let's say, our factorial. Yes, let's say our factorial. Now this is, we are now going to apply a function, yes, using the ESC syntax by saying, okay, variable factorial result equals to what? Total and number. That is going to take in, two arguments, and we are simply telling that, okay, total times number. Now what this is telling us in essence is, okay, take a look at this. This is the array of the array. We have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 elements in there. Now it's not telling us, we are now telling it that, okay, we are going to pass in this function. And what is the function? By simply saying, okay, take the total. The total means every number starting from the left hand side, which is 1, and then multiply it by the number. So that means we are going to say, okay, what? 1 times what? 1. Now the total of 1 times 1 will multiply it by what? 1 times 2. The total of 1 times 2 will multiply it by what? Times 3, and so on and so forth, like that. Now once we've done this, we can now go ahead and console. We can now go ahead and console.log factorial result, factorial dot reduce, then our factorial result. Now if everything goes right, let's look at it. This should work like a your factorial. Can you see 120? We are simply saying 1 times 2, 2, 2 times 3, 6, 6 times 4, 24, 24 times 5. We have our 120. It has worked like that. We can also go ahead and even add more elements to it by even, we can just add something like this to it, and let's say comma and our 6. So it's indirectly, we've simply added something else, an additional number to the factorial, and that should multiply it by that number by saying what? And we should get about 720. 120 times 6 is our 720. Now let's look at another array method. Another array method. This is sort method. This is what sort method. This was sort method. Now we can just say, okay, change again equals to our brace if uh Binance. Okay, let's add Ethereum this time around. Ethereum. Okay, my bad. Ethereum. Let's add one more, which is okay, Bitchase. Okay. Now, what this does, in fact, what this does is it sorts the elements of an array and returns the sorted array in ascending order. That's the default. It returns in ascending order. Now, when you have something like then we can apply the sort method by saying change.sort. You can apply the sort method by saying change.sort and then console.log the sort. You can now console.log. I will save that. Then check our browser and see what we have. Oh, sort is not defined. Oh, that's a big error. That's a big error. Okay, okay. Apologies. So we have to console.log our chains, not sorts, brother. Okay. Now look at this. It has now arranged it in ascending order. Now we are starting with Binance. When you look at it, BIN comes before BIT, then followed by Ethereum and Hive. That's just it. So when you have some element like okay, you want to group them in ascending order or okay from lowest to highest, then you can just use this array method. Now the last one is our splice. And now this splice is a multifunction method. You can use it for many things. Let's use this as this equals to our okay. So we are going to say Monday here. We will add Tuesday here, and we add let's add Thursday here, and then the last one let's add Friday or Friday. Yes. Now when you look at it, what the splice does is it changes content of an array by removing, replacing, or adding new elements into the array. It changes the content of an array by removing, replacing, or adding new elements into the array. Now we've gotten our variables. That not so. Okay, let's look at something. Now let's do this to splice. Getting now we can now see you can take into 3 parameters and then our comma and our Wednesday. Now what this mean in fact is okay, it's taking in 3 parameters, that is index, the index which is 2, that is go to that index. Let's visualize this. Oh, apologies, we need to okay, I have not console.log this, so console.log this. Okay, now look at this. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now what this means is it is taking in 3 parameters. The first parameter, which is a 2, means go to index 2. And what is in index 2? When Monday is index 0, Tuesday index 1, and Thursday is index 2. There's something, go to index 2. Now the one is how many things, how many elements are you deleting, and I'm passing in the argument that delete one element, which is what, our Thursday. Now when you delete the Thursday, then you add what, you add our Wednesday to it. Simple. So that's it. So it takes in 3 elements, that is index, how many items to be removed, and the element, that is the item to be added. So can you see? So that's just it. Now if I am to add 0 here, now this one I add my 0, I save this and then go into my browser to check. You are going to see I've simply said that okay, go to that index 2, but I am not deleting anything. Instead, what do? You add it there and then you shift the orders. So we are now having Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and what? And Friday in there. So that's just the basic. That's just the basic of array method, and then you can use it for any thing out there. So thank you for listening. I hope if you have any question, you can just drop it in the comments box below. I will be here to reply.